Here's a great idea for your next outing. A cruise of the LA Harbor on a Spirit Cruises yacht. Spirit Cruises offers everything you need to relax and enjoy your time on the water. For more information, call 310-548-8080 or visit spiritmarine.com.
Okay, so I want to welcome everybody today to our Remembrance Day show, which is what the show is about. It was Veterans Day yesterday, the 11th of November, and in England we call that the Armistice Show or the Veterans Day show, the Veterans Day memorial events. It's always a little bit difficult putting these shows together because they are, in reflection, they're quite somber, and I've tried to pick some good songs today that I hope will help with the reflectiveness of the suffering and the loss that many of us have gone through. Before I go into what I've got written down, I want to just make a big thank you to all those who are in service today, wishing everybody in harm's way just all the love in the world, and thank you for your service. And to all the veterans that are still with us, thank you for your service also. Okay, I want to go over the songs that we played. We played The Glorious End by Paradise Lost. We played Grace, and that was Tony Iommi and Glenn Hughes. The Flames, At the End, that was At the Gates. Soldiers Things, that was Tom Waits. And I love all of those songs. We normally do play those songs on the Remembrance Show. But the song that gets me every time, of course, you know what it is, Mike. It's Soldiers Things by Tom Waits, about somebody that's selling soldiers things after he's passed away, and it's an absolutely brilliant song by Tom Waits, and I'm so glad that that was written. And like I said, today's show is dedicated to the loss that war brings. We hope to bring an honourable and reflective and positive uplifting musical validation to the solemn and devastating apocalyptic events we have all endured and sadly continue to endure. We'll also be playing a dedication for the Paris November the 13th attacks in 2015 today, and we'll play dedications for the loss incurred in the terrorist attacks of 2016. It's serious stuff, guys, and a little music today, as always, can bring some good energy to those who are tired and disheartened by human conflicts. Okay, before we start more music on a high note, I want to do a shout out for a very important message, and that's to wish the United States Marine Corps a very, very happy birthday, guys and ladies, everybody that's out there that's served and is serving today. Their birthday was on November the 10th, just a couple of days ago, so happy birthday again. Thank you for your service, and here's the music. Okay, wow, we're back. Did you like the set?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, yeah. Okay, first of all, I'm going to go over what we played. Then I'm going to let those of you who are joining us let you know what's going on. Let me go over first what we played. A Spoonful Weighs a Ton, The Flaming Lips. Father Heal This, that's a new song from Day of Errors. Rooster, Alice in Chains. Gimme Shelter, The Rolling Stones. Born of a Broken Man, Rage Against the Machine. Bad Blood, Ministry. The Dogs of War, Pink Floyd. Catastrophic World, that was the Bill Ward Band. In Your Honor, Foo Fighters. The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. And that was incredibly powerful. The Sound of Silence, man, is just, man, those guys, well done on that one. So good. For those of you who are just joining us, This is Rock 50. I'm here with my host, Mike Stark. This is our remembrance show dedicated today to all those who have felt the loss and devastation war brings. What we're going to do now is we're going to do just a very small set. It's about 5 songs. And it's basically, it's not basically, it is dedicated to the first 2 songs are dedicated to the terrorist attack of November the 13th, 2015 in Paris. And then the other songs that follow in this brief short set, the other songs that follow are dedicated to all the terrorist attacks of 2016 that we've had. And I'm going to kick it off right now with Ella Fitzgerald, fantastic Ella Fitzgerald. Okay, we're back. Well, that was a serious dedication, primarily for the terrorist attacks. Not dedicated to the terrorists by any means. Let me get that straight to begin with. But for the victims and for the loss that's been endured by so many people through terrorism. The first 2 songs we played, I Love Paris by Ella Fitzgerald and Parisian Walkways, which was a live version. It was, of course, Gary Moore. Brilliant version. A brilliant song by Gary. On a positive note, the terrorist attack that took place at the Bataclan Theatre, Sting's actually playing there this weekend, and I'm guess he's healing the wounds, as those who have come before him who have played at that club are healing the wounds, and. At that particular concert last year at the Bataclan, when the Eagles of Death Metal band were playing, I had a very close friend of mine escaped by simply being called on the phone, and he was in the club watching the Eagles of Metal play, and his telephone rang and he was recalled. He works with another band, and he was recalled to go back to rehearsals with the other band, so I'm very grateful that he got recalled and he had to leave the club. And my son was also on his way to Paris with a band. And sometimes these encounters, they come very close and they hurt a lot of people. I send all of my heart that's possible to send to all the angels and diamonds that have passed away and been killed by these unspeakable people, and the Orlando massacre and all the terrorist attacks of 2016. We played Ave Maria by Luciano Pavarotti, Time to Say Goodbye, which was Andrea Bocelli with Sarah Brightman. Sarah's brilliant voice. Not discounting Andrea, and Nessun Dorma was played by Jeff Beck, which is fucking unbelievable version of Nessun Dorma. So it's just on a special note. My Uncle Jim died in 2011, and around about this time actually, and he was in service in the RAF during World War II, and when he was buried, they played Time to Say Goodbye, which I thought was very apropos. It was very nice, I was really pleased that song was played for him. I wrote something a few years ago. I'm always writing. I write every single day. I write poems, sayings, things, and I do that because I love to do it. And I wrote this, and this is for, especially today, for the people that are healing or trying to heal from the devastation that's happened from these terrorist acts. Okay. Soul-devouring things will appear as victorious from time to time. However, passion and fearless actions will always calm and nullify these raucous outcries. And that's the truth. Because if we look at history, we will see how tyrants, we will see how individuals, and we'll see how ideals that have been enforced on other people have ultimately died and withered away. And if all you have to do is look at history, and you'll see that those things do happen, and it won't be soon enough. And for this new idea of terrorism disappears, dies, goes away, and hopefully we'll see the last of that. Life will prevail, and that's what I'm saying. Life will prevail, and we will prevail. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, and with a really sad song. It's a great song though, and I'm really glad that Billy Joel wrote it. It's called Goodnight Saigon. Very beautiful. Let me go over what we just played in our last set. Goodnight Saigon, that was Billy Joel. All Along the Watchtower, Jimi Hendrix Experience. Deja Vu, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and Taylor and Reeves. Wind of Change, Scorpions. Families, Neil Young. Chimes of Freedom, The Byrds. Veres Militares, which translates to War Pigs, and that was by Rondalus. My dear old friend, Mary Shaping Carpenter. I love the set. I think it says a lot. I think it's just beautiful music, but it says so much, and it's heartfelt, and it's painful sometimes to listen to, and it's the truth. It's the truth. So this is our Remembrance show, and we're going to play a couple more. We're going to play 3 more songs for the Remembrance show. But what I want to do is I want to read a poem before we go any further. And this is from a book called Poems of the Great War, which was 1914-18. The armistice was signed, by the way, on 1918, which makes it nearly 82, which makes it 98 years, nearly 98 years ago, which is pretty hard to believe, but I think my maths are right. I usually get these things wrong, but I think that's correct. If anybody wants to do maths real quick. But yeah, armistice was 11/11, 1918. And this is a great poem by John McCrae, and it's called In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw, the torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. I want to thank you, Mike, for doing what you always do. You do great things. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. And I want to do my shout-outs. I want to thank Lisa. I want to thank Jones. I want to thank Monty. Monty's here at the show again today, so we don't have to go very far to that shout out. Thanks, Monty. Doing a shout out to the UK, shout out to Europe, shout out to everyone listening today around the world and here at home in the United States. I want to do another shout out again to the veterans and those in harm's way today. Big hugs, tears and handshakes to you all, and lots of kisses and just good stuff. Thank you so much for everything we've been given and taken away and what's been left to us. We're going to do 3 songs. First of all, we're going to play 2 great songs by the Beatles, Across the Universe and then Blackbird. And then we're going to play He Who Would Valiant Be, which we do often either at the Christmas show or the Remembrance show each year on Rock 50. But and the Who He Who Would Valiant Be is an English traditional song by the Worcester Cathedral Choir. But I want to spend a moment just talking about Worcester Cathedral. And I think it's quite fitting, especially with Remembrance Day. Whenever I'm in England, I visit Worcester every time, and I always visit the cathedral there. I love sitting there in the quiet, and it's just the most marvellous place to go to. They have all the knights' tombs there, and King John's actually there as well as some other pretty famous people. But what impresses me more than anything else are all the battle flags. They line the entire arc of the cathedral. They're all the battle flags, all the victory flags that were won in wars. And what would happen was the soldiers would come in to the cathedral and say their prayers. For those that said prayers, would come in, and then they would say their prayers. Then they would march out with the battle flags, and they would go down out of the cathedral and make their way to Europe, make their way to, back then, in the Holy Wars, they would go out to the Middle East. I'm going back, while I'm saying this, I'm going back 100, 200, 400, 500, 600 years. The church has been there over 1,000 years. The cathedral's been there over 1,000 years, so going back a little bit in history. And it's just the most marvellous place to visit. And when I sit there quietly and I look at the battle flags and I see what's been what's happened and what they must have gone through, and it's lying there in silence. It's just there's something very awesome about it, but at the same time something very sad about looking at the flags. And they're there today. They're very well kept. They have a special way of keeping the flags as they were. So it's just a signature of our past and the things that have been achieved. Some were victories, some were not victories at all. And it's just an interesting place to go, and it's very fitting around the Remembrance Day to remember the battle flags and that helped soldiers to go to war, whether it was a wise choice or a bad choice. It was a choice. So that's it. Thanks for letting me shout my mouth off today, everybody, and say what I needed to say. We're going to play Across the Universe, and then we're going to play Blackbird, and then we're going to play He Who Would Valiant Be. Here's the Beatles.